All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Bandit Racing League. simtraxbroadcasting coming to you live here from Irwindale. Unfortunately, we're not going to be out there on the figure 8, but we're going to be running that outside loop where these drivers can get some sort of speed out there. Top speeds touching almost about that 110 to 115 mile an hour mark as they wrap around this track to get a little bit of traction out there. Trouble you're going to see is drivers will be able to make these turns, be able to get plenty of bite into the turn to make sure they can get some decent passing. But what you fumble with out here at Irwindale is the openings and the wall. I've noticed a little bit during practice with these guys that they have been shooting outside of the track. Some of them have been flipping upside down and having a ton of trouble out there, whether or not they are going to be able to hold on to a good race etiquette out there amongst each other. As you can see right there on the right of your screen, there's one of the openings that they do unfortunately sometimes end up down. So a little bump and run there, possibly to Jonathan Platt out there, which I'm sure Robin Allen would enjoy to see the 43 machine get mangled up out there and possibly give Victor Weaver a chance to place more than dead last, which he's rooting for. But nonetheless, we're going to see a great race here tonight. So let's see what our race is going to consist of here, as race number 11 is about to commence. Warm-up currently underway as the drivers are currently sitting in their driver's meeting getting ready for the night's race. Let's go ahead and take a look. 125 laps, so it's going to be a pretty short one here. 100% fuel limit. We will be stopping at lap number 60. When lap number 60 begins, that's when the caution comes out. Drivers come on down, put 4 sets of tires on, refuel it, and hopefully drivers who if they have occurred or accrued any damage out there, they will be able to go ahead and fix that car and get it back out on the track. They will have 5 minutes to do so. During that time, they'll have an extra 2 sets of tires in case they wish to do a little offset pitting. We've seen Eddie Hagge and Nick Nickerson able to come out on top with some decent times out there, especially with offset pitting and getting some fresh tires. Modified fixed setup league, so these guys have fixed it up on previous days to get this thing dialed in just right, but they will have one fast repair. The only thing that concerns me here is that 115 degrees down there on the track for the clear low still died 125 here tonight. That is, hopefully that is not a hint as what we are going to see here tonight. Now, plenty of drivers out there are feeling pretty pumped up about how this race may, how the outcome is going to really work out here as they move around here. This is one of the larger tracks they've been driving on. It's going to see how often these guys are going to be able to race against one another out here. Now, big thing I like to point out is moving straight on into the points. Points, one of the ones that we still have leading is Nick Nickerson, which, keep in mind, he had a bounty on him last week for $20. This week, that still remains. No one was able to beat him last week, so that continues. But Jonathan Platt was able to pick up one more position as he regained second position. He slung out of there due to Kevin Foster. A little bit of fumble up last week, but he finishes, he currently is sitting in third for the points chase. That moves us on to Connor Gibson and Eddie Hagge, which currently I am showing out there. No driver for Eddie Hagge's number 97. He is not going to be in the race car here tonight, nor will there be a fill-in driver. So that's going to be trouble for our top 5 driver there. And he's going to be, what I'm reading here, he still has a provisional left, which means they will give him the dead last place on points. So that's going to be pretty rough. Seeing that I've only got 12 drivers, I've got 13, about 12th place is where he will get, or 13th, and we'll see how he can fare as the drivers work their way around the track once again, and hopefully rubber up this track here for just a moment. As you can see, David Lakey out there is sitting in 6th, Matt Crockett 7th, Victor Weaver 8th, Logan Murray is 9th, and Bob Berry, another driver who is not out here on the track. Bob Berry currently, I believe, if I have caught up here with his team, is not ready yet. He has a brand new sim rig, I believe he is getting pieced together, and it will be on hopefully by next week. Definitely, I feel his pain out there with sim rigs. You could definitely have a bunch of pieces back and forth, with pieces missing or things like that, and that's going to be definitely kicking in the play here. Robin Allen out there asking what's going on out there. Now, I know you guys appreciate you blowing it up out there in the chat. Definitely keeping me busy out here, as this track will definitely be a lot of work here from our angle. Taking a look, Jackson Knock out there, finally getting some of his warm-up laps in. We'll see how it goes. I think even Jay out there, Jay, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you are currently putting a sim rig together as well, so you know the ins and outs and the woes that come with it. Yes, it may help these drivers do a lot of driving out there, get a good feel for the car, but definitely it can be a painstaking process of making everything work and all in unison to do the right thing. Right now, Ethan Sikorsky during this warm-up is definitely kicking it around the track here in the number 94 car. Currently, we are still sitting here in the warm-up. I believe we've got about another 5 minutes left here in the warm-up. And we'll see how all this will fare. Now, Nicole Krazel has not gotten out on the track. We're a driver from Lady Chaos Racing. I've not seen her start moving yet. She was moving around during practice. Hopefully she doesn't Terry Condis me here and end up on the track and then not on the track. We'll see. We'll kind of teeter back and forth to see what happens. All right. So Kevin Foster, Platt, David Lakey, Logan Murray, Ethan Sikorsky, Jackson Knock, Bill Harkins, Nick Nickerson, Victor Weaver, Matt Crockett, Nicole Krazel, and Connor Gibson are the drivers currently on the pavement here tonight. As you see, a little scrub here from Ethan Sikorsky. Yikes. Right now, I think even Connor Gibson came a little late into the game here tonight and was saying this car definitely rotates very well and moves through. Yeah, Jay even out there. I think Jay even messaged me at one point. It's something about you had a pedal problem out there. Definitely when you move into new equipment, things do change. I know Bill Harkins, he was dealing with some pedal issues. Logan Murray, I think, was dealing with some steering wheel issues. So there's a ton of things going on out there for guys that definitely dial these cars in and make some race out of it here. Now, guys, I don't know if you guys had tuned in last week. There is definitely a way you can do that. Go into simtraxbroadcasting.com and you can go back and find all the previous races, even from this season. So if you find one, or your favorite driver like Victor Weaver out there was able to get a top 5 out there. Benjamin Lacey getting up toward the front and then getting absolutely blown out when he had a heck of a chance for a win. Jonathan Platt with another one of his commanding and dominating races that he had with the 5 in a row, as he was unfortunately was undone last time. You are able to tune in to a bunch of those. So if you think Irwindale's pretty rough out here with the way this short track is going to be going, I was told in the area it was supposed to be about 78 degrees during this time, but boy, track temperature definitely tells us otherwise. And I think that's really going to be the key to our success here tonight. Guys are noticing these cars don't have a whole lot of power, aren't able to push through, but I think that track temperature is going to be extremely catchy out there. And especially when these tires start getting really slick, they're going to be sliding all over the track. As you can take a look at our weather there, currently partly cloudy with a 30% humidity chance. Oh, Logan Murray's heading to the backup car as it gets a little ricochet. Looks like off of Nick Nickerson's car. The number 2 car back into pits. Next week, we'll be at the Happy's 125 at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. That's definitely a bumpy track out there. Guys are going to be having some trouble with that. Another 125 lap race. And then April 1st, we will have an off week. We're going to finally get a little bit of a chance to catch up. Everybody definitely calm down a little bit. The admins will be definitely reeling in and putting a little bit of bait out there to see if we can grab a few more drivers here before we have the final run to the end of the final 6 races here of the season. And boy, oh boy, the tracks we go to, the Oswego Speedway, Nashville, Stafford Motor Speedway, Richmond, Slinger Speedway, and finishing off at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway. So that's going to be a great race there, 150 laps to have these guys go at it for the Perfect Shine Auto Spa Battle for the Crown. 150, that's going to be a good run. Nickerson going to be excited about tonight's race And I expect to see him come away with a win, but with Jonathan Platt in it and here for the race, I guarantee it is not a chip shot any longer. Notice how everyone so far has been really favoring that top line here. I think Platt is testing to see what that car can do and how loose it is going to be getting around the track. And I think that track temperature, once again, is going to be tripping him up here. And it's going to be causing nothing but problems. Nothing but problems here. But hopefully we are able to have a decent race here tonight. We'll definitely hold our breath. Dalton Kilroy will be hanging out up top as our race control here for tonight. Is not out there on the track, although he was able to score some points for the race he did show up for. And see how all this is going to boil down. Now, normally we do talk to a couple of drivers down here, might have an opportunity to grab a hold of one driver, and we'll kind of hop, skip, and a jump here with Logan Murray, I think, is probably who I want to talk to here, and we'll see if we have the opportunity to grab a hold of the number 4 car out there. Let's see, Logan Murray, you got a copy on me, everybody?
I got a copy. How are you?
All right, doing okay. Boy, race after race, trouble keeps happening out there for the number 4, but we got hot track temperatures, guys riding the high line. How you feeling tonight?
Somewhere between confident and scared. I was doing really good in practice. Qualifying didn't really go my way. I'm starting 6th here, but this is one of my favorite tracks. I love this track. I love running here. I love running everything here. Wish I could have went to it in real life, but that's all right.
All right.
Cars lose when it gets rubbered up.
We noticed a couple of drivers have been doing a lot of sliding around here. You're going to be starting right, I believe, catty corner here to Jonathan Platt and right in front of Connor Gibson. Any nervousness about these guys who enjoy really, honestly, pile driving forward?
I know Connor's one who likes to use his bumper a lot, so that's got me a little nervous, but I think if I can just run my line here, run my race, I think it'll sort itself out pretty nicely.
All right, Logan, deep breath, buddy. Get ready for this race here, and we'll get you back to your team up top, and hopefully you have a great race tonight, buddy.
Thank you. See ya.
Yep. All right, everybody, Logan Murray out there in the number 4. That'll give us the opportunity to kind of get, I like being able to talk to that, and that was more of a real-time piece there, is somebody's nervous. Somebody knows this isn't going to be just a chip shot here, so hopefully we will have the opportunity. So let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight as we get locked and loaded here. Nick Nickerson and Jackson Knock will be on our front row. Moving on to Kevin Foster sitting right behind his Perfect Shine Auto Spa teammate is sitting 3rd. Ethan Sikorsky beat his outside. David Lakey sits 5th. Logan Murray we talked to in 6th. Jonathan Platt 7th. And Connor Gibson in the top 8. Victor Weaver starting 9th. Matt Crockett in 10th. Round out our field is going to be Nicole Krazel and Bill Harkins. Right now I'm showing a little trouble out of the Liquid Death Machine of the number 15 out of Matt Crockett. Looks like unable to get that car fired. It looks like he'll be starting from the back of the pack here. Pretty rough start here for Matt Crockett. Right now, pace car is still putting around here, getting ready to get going. I think Crockett, there we go. As it looks like the in-and-out car, getting ready to get fired back up here. Still looking to see if I can get any kind of drone footage out there. What in the world's going on with this car? Looks like the pit crew needs to get their hands out of their pockets and get ready to pit back on and get him on the track. Get ready to go here momentarily. I'm sure they'll be ready to go. Pace car heads on off. Remember, we go around one more time. And then we start back green flag. Matt Crockett still not left the pit box yet. So he is going to be starting at least a lap down. Currently, it does look like Matt Crockett out there did call that he may have the dead last spot. At least he will for the first half. There we go. Matt Crockett finally gets her fired up. Race control now going to have to see if they can square him away and get that boy back onto the lead lap here. That way he is ready to go. Nickerson, Knock, Foster, Sikorsky. Green flag, here we go. Definitely feeling it out here. Clear low, still died. 125 is underway. Kevin Foster already getting bumped around there by Ethan Sikorsky. Right now, below that hash line, they're saying out there is no way to go. Even Matt Crockett saying so out there in the chat. Currently, you see Foster riding half of his car underneath that hash line, and it is definitely causing him trouble. Unable to clear here. Ethan Sikorsky, that is, as Sikorsky definitely keeps the pressure on. Ooh, Sikorsky might pay for it there. Outside line, gets caught into the wall. That sends Sikorsky back here. He's definitely not going to be happy about how many positions he just gave up. Right now might have an opportunity to take a quick peek at what happened to Ethan Sikorsky here into the wall. Here comes Platt getting real close. There's the nudge. Sikorsky loose, bang. Clips him. Around they go. So Sikorsky now from the, I believe he was battling up there for the third position, now hanging out in 8th. Victor Weaver, Bill Harkins, Nicole Krazel, and Matt Crockett sitting behind him now. Fortunately, he does have about a 1.5 gap before Victor Weaver can catch him here. Currently still in the lead. And 11 bounty hunters sitting behind him. Jackson Knock, the closest one, sitting off by about 3/4 of a second. Seeing if he can run down Nick Nickerson. $20 on the line. That can definitely buy these guys a couple of tracks out there, especially for the rest of the season. They'll have that opportunity. All right, looks like we got a Jackson Knock fan out there. Pretty excited to see how this one is going. Currently, Knock sitting in that second position. Been pretty quiet here so far this season. Hasn't been making a whole bunch of waves. Currently sitting 14th there in the points. I guarantee he'd like to do just a little bit more here. It's going to be pretty tough. Let's see if he can come away with any sort of successful run. Right now he is sitting in second. He did place at least in the top 5 once so far this season. Everything's still pretty close. Speaking of pretty close, let's take a look back here at Ethan Sikorsky. Looks like Sikorsky's looking to see if he can make a move here. Isn't going to get a full clear here on Connor Gibson. Gibson close there from the Canadian Tire, number 31, currently holding 8th. Notice how Logan Murray up front getting a little bit loose as we sit here on the side. Ride with Ethan Sikorsky. He is able to make the pass around the 31 there. Good timing by Sikorsky. He knows he's fast. He's just got to get back to the front after that bump there with Jonathan Platt. Now, I guarantee you, a little chip on his shoulder here from Ethan Sikorsky if he goes back up there and meets the 43, although not intentional. You don't want to have anybody get a little mixed up out here, seeing that it is extremely hard to pass. So he might return the favor back to the 43 if you can catch him. You guys noticed at least the 600 laps that we watched for the first 5 races, this guy was untouchable. And that's Jonathan Platt, that is. Currently he's up 3. Sending down there from 7th and now up to 4th. Boy, take a look at this. Kevin Foster all over the place here. Right now, that car is definitely getting crazy loose on him here. I'm wondering why he's ducking down there on the bottom. Might not be feeling too comfortable about the way that car is handling right now. He goes ahead and lets Jonathan Platt get on around. And if we want to talk about the 43 car once again, all right, he's about a 1.5 seconds before catching our leader. Nickerson still just going ahead and running his race way out front. Definitely enjoying that 3/4 second lead over top of Jackson Knock. Knock is still running his good race so far. And the OxyClean 00. So Jackson Knock sits second, Jonathan Platt third, giving him 4 positions gain. Kevin Foster loses his first place here of the night. here on lap number, I believe it was 17 was the pass. Incorrect. Lap 15 was the pass. And currently, Ethan Sikorsky still moving on up as he goes ahead to look and put Logan Murray into the rear view. Logan Murray holding on tight, though. He's going to lose that position. No doubt about that. Take a look at Ethan Sikorsky, how he rides down there close to the bottom. Definitely like the way he's working in here. Ethan Sikorsky, that is, and Sikorsky touched again. Not this time by Platt. A little nudge there by Logan Murray. Boy, Ethan Sikorsky might be overheating these tires. That rear end already sliding around. He's got 40 laps before he can put a fresh set of tires on. Definitely running about 8 degrees hotter than they were during practice. As the trouble continues. This guy's being pretty racy here. Logan Murray taking a peek to the inside as we're riding along here with Logan Murray. Definitely may look easy from the top of the car. Here's what it's like sitting side by side with Logan Murray. He currently has got that 94 in his sights. Little slide there. Logan Murray able to keep it under control, and they stay racing. Currently, Ethan Sikorsky is back up to 6th. A couple more positions, and he gets back to his original qualifying position. But he's got guys in front of him that have been running real fast here lately. I do want to note, currently, Ethan Sikorsky is running times as fast as our leader. Currently sitting back there in an 1878. Currently, now Ethan Sikorsky with an 1866. That's faster than our leader. So currently the 94 machine not looking to save any tire here as he's charging toward the front. Here's some of the last lap times up on the board. And you'll see Ethan Sikorsky's on the move. 15 thousandths of a second faster than our leader. Currently Nickerson may be petering off just a little bit. Here comes David Lakey to the outside as Sikorsky looks underneath the dotted line. Good move here. Ethan Sikorsky getting plenty of time here in the spotlight as he has been on the move. First it was one big bite backwards and he is slowly nibbling his way to the front. Now up to 5th. Currently this will give him some time. He's got 3/4 of a second before he finds Kevin Foster. This might be the time that we see Ethan Sikorsky settle down a little bit. Try to race these guys out here in the next couple of in the next few laps. Lakey taking a look to the bottom. Definitely, Ethan Sikorsky is able to get a good launch out of these turns, and I'm wondering if that's why guys are nudging the back bumper here of the 94. He's got some damage there to that right front wheel, though. At 5 minutes here, in the next 30 laps will be definitely instrumental for him when he comes down into pit road during our break. Kevin Foster still holds out to about 9/10 of a second here. So far, so good. Jonathan Platt has been able to make some slight separation there by about half a second. And Jackson Knock is now in the sights here of Jonathan Platt. Currently just shy of needing a telescope. Jackson Knock can see Nickerson out there by about 1.5 seconds. Logan Murray still playing kind of peekaboo back there with the 84 machine there of David Lakey. Lakey working in front. Lakey originally started in 5th. He's now going to be nudging back to 7th. Contact is made with Logan Murray. Lakey's around. First caution out here for the night. David Lakey is our driver involved. See if we can take a quick little peek at what happens. I believe we were hovering around Logan Murray. I think the 84 might have just checked up a little too much there. Logan Murray, a little nudge, and then he tries to drop below the dotted line, and his car just drifts up into him. So no fault to David Lakey here, as Logan Murray was definitely hungry to get that spot back. Race control, keeping an eye on everybody. Everybody coming down pit road now. I'm looking to see if there's trouble out of Logan Murray's machine. It looked like I saw smoke, but that might just be dust kicking up down there from the bottom. I'm sure you guys can see that as well, kind of what's coming off the back of this Skull car. Trying to see if we can get a peek here at drone footage. No smoke from this angle. Everything looks good back here. Logan Murray deciding not to pit. That's going to be our top 6 that are not coming in. I'm assuming Matt Crockett will not come in to go ahead and put him back onto the lead lap. First driver in and out of pit road is going to be Nicole Krazel. She's now up to 7th. That gives her a 4 position gain from her qualifying time, 11.75. Quick pit stop here for Nicole Krazel. Maybe set of right side tires and back out she goes. Interesting call. Everybody else behind her has taken 4. That being Connor Gibson, David Lakey, Bill Harkins, and Victor Weaver. Like the call here by all the drivers in the back. This may be the chance that the back of the field starts keeping pace with our ever so fast Nick Nickerson, who still remains in the front here. Jackson Knock hasn't been as close to the lead as he has now. This will be his opportunity to try to pounce on Nick Nickerson if he can. Checking here, taking a look. See Firestone Tire Studios, rooting on Weaver as well. Hoping he can get out there and do his best. But now I like Victor Weaver's, like I said, I still like Victor Weaver's call, throwing on a set of tires here. All right, back under green, here we go. Nickerson takes outside line, and take a look who's diving to the bottom. Jonathan Platt might pay for this, though. Let's see if he can get through. Gets a fender on in here on Jackson Knock. Knock going to have to fight him off. Squeezes to the bottom and puts the pressure on. Knock into the wall. Platt definitely driving aggressively here this race. He wants Nickerson. Expect Knock to retaliate here. A little bit of rough driving here. Watch Knock. Knock's coming to the inside. Yeah, there we go. Knock returns the favor here to the 43. Doesn't get quite as much effect as Jonathan Platt did, getting Knock a little bit loose. So now Platt is only 1 position away from gathering the lead. Normally we see Jonathan Platt get the lead here from the beginning of this season, and normally never looks back. Nickerson starting to drive the tires off this thing. He's got to hold them off for about another 25 laps. Easier said than done. Nickerson across the line. We'll rotate back here for the moment to take a look at Logan Murray. We've got into David Lakey, who's currently right behind him. Currently fresh tires so far, and these guys haven't really kicked in an overdrive here. They are still hanging off, which is a little unusual. Currently, Victor Weaver now off by 3 seconds before he can find Connor Gibson. Got these two currently side by side. This is Victor Weaver and Matt Crockett. That's an end here for 9th. And Crockett will get up into Victor Weaver there. That'll be the end of that battle. Bill Harkins will be looking to attack here as soon as possible. Dives down toward the bottom. Unfortunately, when these guys get down to the bottom of the track, they got to be hard on the brakes to get this car to pivot. Once they can plant and make that easy turn there, they should be able to do it. Currently, Bill Harkins and Victor Weaver duking it out here. That is for the 10th spot. Can do. Nicole Krazel, there she is, right there in the back. First out of pit road, but unfortunately dead last in the heat here. checking back in on David Lakey. I'm always wondering if something's going to come of this. Remember, Logan Murray got into the back of David Lakey here. Lakey makes the pass, a little slow on turn exit. Logan Murray's trying to correct. Tough run here by Logan Murray. This poor guy's been under fire here all night. So as he keeps extremely busy, Connor Gibson trying to take a peek, see if he can make the pass here. Currently the view here from Connor Gibson's Canadian Tire machine. Logan Murray definitely holding on to that outside line. There he goes. Able to make the pass that time. Whoa! Connor Gibson dive bombs it on in there. Uses Logan Murray as a backstop. This is the two of them here. Expect Logan Murray. There's a little crossover. Gets really close to the 31. Definitely wants to make sure he squeezes him toward the top. Logan Murray going to return the favor as we got a driver sideways. Jackson Knock, our third place driver, is facing the infield. It doesn't look like any damage to Jackson Knock. Expect him to get tires. Smoke clears. We're working on getting our camera angle here. What happened to Jackson Knock? What got him spun out? Showing there was a problem even before they registered a crash here. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. That's him trying to return the favor back to Platt. Oh man. Jonathan Platt able to stick it out though. Yeah, that was, we can say that wasn't intentional. I think Jackson Knock was a little annoyed at how some of our other drivers are moving people around out there. So Jackson Knock in the back of the field here. He's got nothing to lose. Maybe a fresh set of rubber will change his mind. He's got only about 14 laps before the stage. Does he want to risk it? They do have 3 sets of tires down in the pit. Looks like Knock is going to stay out though. Interesting call here. Jonathan Platt will now be up into the second position. Gutsy call here for Nickerson. Outside line, it'll be a good start, but can he break away from Jonathan Platt? Remember, they got to go around one more time here. As you see him kind of jolt through the the restart zone, and gets trying to shake up Jonathan Platt. Say that right now the big key here is, remember, Ethan Sikorsky has been moved by the 43, and Kevin Foster is a teammate. So we'll see if Jonathan Platt is in the sights here. Oh boy, Nickerson slow to the restart here. This is going to give Platt the opportunity. Here they are taking a look to the inside. Jonathan Platt, Nickerson trying to hold on to it. Ricochet off the side of it, one another as they shoot in turn 3. Currently, Nickerson holds on tight here, outside line. He'll have the speed at the line, but will he carry it into turn 1? Jonathan Platt Decides to dive just a little farther underneath that dash line, and it rotates him up, smacking him into Nickerson. Nickerson now off the wall, back into the 43. Currently, Nickerson and Platt going at it here. Looks like Platt is starting to lose some ground. That footing down on the bottom here, not working out. Currently, we're waiting for Foster to see if he's able to make a little something happen. Get behind that 43, see if he can loosen him up a little bit, take a little air off that wing, and he's doing just that. There he goes. Foster gets in behind Platt. Platt now tucks behind Nickerson. Nickerson remains in the lead. 10 to go here at the stage. As the battle for the lead fizzles out, Ethan Sikorsky under fire here by Connor Gibson. Gibson to the outside. No drivers took partake in any pit stops in the last caution. So everybody's still out there on the tires that they got either from the beginning of the race or from lap 33. Connor Gibson, one of those drivers, including David Lakeview sitting sixth, the drivers that took tires on lap 33. Right now, you would think Connor Gibson and Lakeview would have the opportunity here. Quick jerk move there by the 31. Dives to the bottom there for just a moment. And Lakey into the back of him, not letting off. Boy, Connor Gibson lighting up that radio now. He's upset with that move. Jackson not taking tires there during the stop. So we got about 5 or 6 laps left to go. Platt. Yep. Lost the foothold to Nickerson as he's out in the fresh air. Now Foster's going to get to play with him a little bit. Gets out there on the outside and everything. Staying calm, cool, and collected. Foster not looking to get in any trouble. So I think he may have a little PTSD out there from season number 12. Right now, back and forth these guys go. Matt Crockett back onto the lead lap and able to fight as he's now up to 8th. So far, so good. Everybody about within a quarter of a second of each other. And I think everybody's just going to kind of march this one out to the end. Bill Harkins taking a peek, though, following Logan Murray down to the bottom of the track. Murray would love to fight past Crockett here. Takes a peek to the inside. Less than a quarter of a second for Foster and Platt up front. Logan Murray able to hold on tight. Bill Harkins may have to check up a little bit. Twelve, 4, and 15 making it dicey here. Jackson Knock. Yeah. Boy, lap number 59 underway here. So I can assure you that. You see these two. Boy, and you would think everybody would have the crosshairs out there on Jonathan Platt instead of trying to kill each other out there. Who'd have figured? So this is right at the stage, right when everything's getting ready to end here. Take a look at the 31. Little bump here from Jackson Knock. Yeah, you can't tell me that's not Connor returning the favor. Jackson Knock was able to beat him, I believe, for the stage at the line. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity out there to talk to Jackson Knock if possible. Maybe we'll figure out what in the world is going on. Robin Allen out there saying Robin's racing. or what happened to Rubbins Racing. I definitely guarantee that. I would say Rubbins Racing as long as it's side by side. But giving a guy a shove into the turn, boy, that's only going to create problems for you and the other drivers. Which we can definitely, for certain, say that is 100% there. But we'll talk to the double zero here, Jackson Knock. All right, Jackson, I'm sure you got me here on the radio, man. A lot of work to do out here. We get nudged out of position. Talk to me a little bit about how this race is going on the first half for you.
Well, you know what? Every single race this season, I got to go to the back for something. It happens every time. So it's honestly a part of the fun. I got used up by Platt. Almost turned me on the front straightaway. Obviously, probably not on purpose, but I wasn't happy about it. And then he gets in front of me, and then he just starts parking in the middle of the corner, almost like he's slamming the brakes. I didn't try to get into him. I was just running my line. He started slipping up. His tires were all screwed up. I was faster than him, but he did his strategy, I guess, and a tiny little bit of contact on my nose sent me around somehow. So not the funnest couple of laps there, but all in all, it's a fun track. I'm having fun. It seems to be the tracks that everyone's like, oh, it's so hard to pass, are the tracks I like the most. So, but it's not too bad out here.
Yeah, I would say, even that. So we see you end up in some trouble out there with Platt. You don't come in and get tires, which actually surprised me. If you were to look back at it, should you have taken tires?
I don't believe so. You might have seen that I was planning to. I kind of went down there, but I thought I'm going to use one here. We got 2 more left after that. I don't know. I was just kind of thinking if I'm in a scenario where I need to get some tires later in the race, because I have a tendency to go around sometimes off the bumper of other people, or I suppose off my own bumper somehow. So I was just thinking maybe I'll use them later, and you know what? Who needs the tires? I still got around a couple people. I had some issues with Connor. I got around Connor, but then the caution flag gave him his position back somehow, which pissed me off a little bit, especially because he was hitting me down the backstretch and then hitting me on the caution lap. But,
oh yeah, well we were definitely watching throughout the entire passing motion there, and even took a replay. It did look like he went underneath. It was a little because I was. Let's rewind it back here a little bit, Jackson.
I tapped him. I tapped him a little bit, but
right.
That's kind of what you got to do.
We're using a little bit of bumper here and there, but now we're starting to use the side of the car. And that's what I was kind of pointing out is, as we went down, we kind of nudged him. It happens. But the retaliation to come back heading into turn 3 was not unnoticed. So it looks like Connor definitely wants to make sure he retains position. I agree with you. I thought I was a little confused why he was coming in front of you down in the pit, but that's going to be pretty questionable when you guys head down into head out back for the restart here, where that is going to put you guys kind of on a mental status here of who's going to be killing who out there.
Well, you know what? Me and Connor have had run-ins in the past. I don't exactly dislike Connor, but I've never been the biggest Connor fan. So, I expect, I'm always faster than him, so it usually works out, but expect probably me use the door a little bit more.
All right, well, we'll hope the best for you, Jackson Knock. In case I don't get to talk to you here in the podium positions, man, since you say you tend to face the infield a little bit there, go ahead and give me a shout-out while I got you here.
I'd like to shout out OxyClean. It's on the hood. They do cleaning for things that require oxygen. Been here 50 years before the OxyClean you know of. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my grandma, and my grandpa, and anybody else who may be watching, and anybody else who supports me in my real life and sim racing endeavors.
All right, Jackson Knock, I'll be interested to see what you got in the real life racing adventures, buddy. Haven't seen that car wrapping around the track here in a while, and we'll be on the side here, buddy. Good luck.
10-4. Thank you.
Yep. All right, out there currently, Jonathan Platt out there saying he loves Robin Allen too. Thanks for the hate. Definitely a lot of things going on as we can talk a little bit about what's going on with the 31 machine here of Connor Gibson. Connor, you got a copy on me here, buddy?
I got you.
All right, let's go ahead and let the cat out of the bag here. Tough racing here for the Canadian Tire machine. Talk to me about this last couple of laps here with Jackson Knock.
Oh, we just hard battle in there, and it was rough, but it was good. It's good racing, good hard racing.
Well, good hard racing. How friendly is this going to be out there? I noticed there was some bumping and rubbing. It looked like he went underneath and decided to touch the side of your car instead of the back. And entering turn 3, I think you decided to return the favor.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate it too much, but you know, we might keep going after this. We don't know. I don't know yet. So
all right. Well, I was going to ask you, how do you feel about the brutality here? You know, will it continue? You know, do you wave at this guy or, you know, put him in the rearview mirror and forget about him?
Honestly, it's fun, and I know the fans enjoy it, so hopefully we'll keep it up.
All right. I know Ethan Sikorsky Racing out there is definitely proud to have you on board here this year. From what I've heard and from what Ethan Sikorsky was kind of hinting at, that there was some sort of a hint of go ahead and let Jackson Knock go because he'll be facing the infield by the time you see the end of the race here. You know, do you agree with that?
Yeah, probably. He'll probably wreck himself or get wrecked.
All right, Connor, tough race here, buddy. Go and give me a shout-out while I got you in here.
Shout out to teammates, shout out to friends, family, shout out to you guys broadcasting. Shout out to the viewers, as always, Bill, Kevin, everybody that lets us behind the scenes. Put on a good show. And, yeah.
All right, Connor Gibson, good luck to you out there, buddy.
Yes, thank you.
All right, Connor Gibson being an awesome job here the past couple of races, and actually this season teamed up there with Ethan Sikorsky and none other than Jonathan Platt out there in the 43 as well. So he's been definitely getting a little bit of tutelage from one of the fastest guys out here on the track, and definitely from the beginning here of these races. Now notice Nickerson may have to set up his restart a little bit differently here to get Jonathan Platt a little off his game. So no can do, not time to go through yet. One time around, and we will be back under green. Appreciate you guys joining us here at Simtrax Broadcasting, as we are bringing you the best in iRacing. Stage number 2 is underway here at the next pass as we enter turn number 3. These guys will be back at it. Knock fan out there saying, great interview. Yep, we try to grab Jackson Knock when we can. Definitely don't like messing up his mojo out there and getting him out of the groove. But definitely we try to get a little insight from some of our guys who've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. All right, back under green. Heck of a restart here for Nickerson. That's what we expected the first time. Nickerson, great breakaway here. He's looking to get away quick. Able to squeeze out there. Platt's now going to be playing chase. Kevin Foster now sitting third as Ethan Sikorsky looks to the outside. Currently, these two started side by side here for the race. Great job by Ethan Sikorsky to reel it back in and collect these positions. Now it's like a redo of the race. Well, a couple extra laps in his pocket here. Hopefully it doesn't end up the same way. David Lakey getting loose. Currently right now, Connor Gibson and Jackson Knock going at it again. Watch Connor Gibson to the inside. Oh yeah. Right now, this is Jackson Knock. Something looks like Knock is trying to get out of there. Before something happens with the 31 behind him, here comes Connor Gibson to the inside. Contact with the right front fender. These two are going at it. Boy, these guys are treating these cars like Hot Wheels here. Currently, Jackson Knock is trying to get away, and I think he might have the separation he's looking for. Currently knocking down the best lap here of the night is Ethan Sikorsky with an 18:40. That almost been enough to take the pole here tonight. And currently Connor Gibson gets sent around here, getting into Matt Crockett. Off Crockett again. Boy, Connor Gibson getting pinballed around out here. Fresh tires on the car, no damage, and it looks like he's getting the worst of it. Wow. Definitely plenty of battling out here. These guys are not giving up. Nickerson still holding out in front of Jonathan Platt by about a quarter of a second. Yeah, expect this to continue going here. Right now, Bill Harkins watching from behind. Yeah, the 31, that's called digging the fender in. Goes ahead and sets that left fender into the right rear quarter panel. And isn't hooking him, but it definitely keeps him from trying to rotate in front of him. Connor Gibson, a little nudge. Whoa! Yeah, right now, from Bill Harkins' view, this has got to be petrifying to see these two still going at it. I think Bill's getting nervous. He's laying way back, seeing the 31, the 15 are duking it out here. Crockett is in the same team chat as Bill Harkins. Oddly enough, this is where the battle is at, 8th, 9th, and 10th. They're currently sitting on top of our 10th place driver, Bill Harkins. 31 finally gets some separation here from Matt Crockett. Goes ahead and gets away. Currently, this is Bill Harkins taking a look to the inside. Notice Victor Weaver sitting right behind. Sitting about a second off pace here from Bill Harkins. Nicole Krazel still bringing up the back. Expect to see if we got a mid-caution. She'll be in there getting tires once again. Whoa! Nicole Krazel is around. No caution is out. Doesn't look like she affects anything there. Looks like she ricochets off. Currently our leaders working their way around here. Nicole Krazel goes now down a lap, unfortunately. Nickerson is using up every inch of this track here. Above that dotted line to try to stay away from Jonathan Platt. As Platt just sitting back waiting for Nickerson to burn his stuff up. It doesn't look like it. Currently all night, Nickerson's had this thing on a rail. Ethan Sikorsky's been hot and is still maintaining pace with our top three guys. Apparently we found which track Sikorsky likes the best. If he could just stay out of trouble, I think he's got a chance. At a podium position here, Robin Allen out there asking, do we need to hear the live chat? It has been a possibility. I have had requests for listening to live chat, but I believe I was requested not to here because of we don't have the cleanest mouths down there in the radio chat. So Connor Gibson is the reason for our caution out here. I'm not sure if it's 100% him or the heavily damaged Matt Crockett. There is definitely some fighting out here. Matt Crockett. Man. I don't know about that. We'll take a look here again at Matt Crockett. Let's see if he lets off the gas. Definitely want to take a peek again here at Connor Gibson. Trying to see if he's pivoting in. If somebody makes a mistake, they're going to try to say this is this angle here, that this is possibly a racing incident. I'm trying to figure out if Connor Gibson comes down or is Matt Crockett firing in. Because boy, that looks like Crockett's on a roll here. Because compared to Connor Gibson, he's much slower than Bill Harkins to the inside. Yeah, Gibson's triangulating the turn, the 15 sending it through. And it gets them both caught up, so they both pay the price. Crockett decides to come on in the pit. 16 seconds for his car. Boy, that thing's mangled. Let's figure out another driver. Jackson Knock takes tires. Oh, boy. All right, so we talk about drivers offset pitting here. Jonathan Platt is going to be our first biter here, who's in the front three. Ethan Sikorsky did as well. Took tires. Matt Crockett looks like possibly a set of right sides and back out. Jackson Knock takes 4, which is going to line him up directly next to Connor Gibson for the 9th and 10th spots here. Logan Murray decides to pit. 32 seconds, so a little bit of damage fix. And Nicole Krazel going ahead and throwing on 4 after her spin out. She was slinging around the track there, did not bring out a caution. We'll be back underway here in just a moment. We want to thank you guys once again for joining us here at the Bandit Racing League. Simtrax Broadcasting coming to you live here. Stage number 2 of the Clear Low Still Died 125 here at Irwindale. Nick Nickerson leading this entire race here so far. Fortunately has a teammate to his outside. Bill Harkins is now up to 3rd. Nickerson gets a good jump here. Harkins takes it way to the bottom. Interesting dive move there. Take a look who's going to be to his outside. David Lakey and Platt into Lakey now. Victor Weaver full send. He goes ahead and picks up not 1, 2, 3 positions now. Victor Weaver up to 5th. Currently, Victor Weaver is lined up behind Jonathan Platt. Currently, Ethan Sikorsky got a little bit. His spotter screaming into his ear that the 18 NOS machine is still there. Don't move up. Sikorsky's trying to keep up with his teammate here, and he gets a clear. Now he's got to play chase. Currently, just off Jonathan Platt. Nickerson has a 1-second gap between those two drivers. Looks like Bill Harkins is going to be under fire here as Platt looking for the outside line. Remember, fresh tires here for Platt. All right, looks like we've got some problems here in the back. I got a driver off pace here. Well, it might have been a spin out there from Matt Crockett. Boy, look at Ethan Sikorsky diving it on in there. David Lakey, after his little nudge there from Platt, has sent him back to 9th. Seeing Robin Allen going ahead and putting a hit out there for the 43. Logan Murray taking a look here to the inside of Connor Gibson. Boy, you would think these guys had plenty of room out here on the track. I guess this is, reminds you a little bit of Darlington out there, AJ. Definitely want to keep it above that dotted line to be fast, but Logan Murray showing otherwise. It's working down there on the bottom. All right, let's check back in on Bill Harkins and Ethan Sikorsky. Sikorsky to the top, full blow, right on through. So Sikorsky gets a good clear. Jackson Knock looking to follow right behind. Now remember, these guys have teammates out there. Connor Gibson teammates with Ethan Sikorsky. assuming there's no bad blood between the 00 and the 94.
Wow.
Jack's not getting crazy close to that opening. Better be careful. He was one of the drivers during practice that ended up clipping that wall. Boy, take a look how close Jackson not hits there. Currently the clear here off of Bill. Bill taking a look here to the inside. Logan Murray, as you can see, a little bit farther there on the outskirts of our camera. Logan Murray's getting a little bit loose. Ooh, there's a wash up. Drivers being super careful out here, definitely watching these tires. Speaking of tires, Jonathan Platt using them to his advantage now. He's up to second. Look at our difference here. About 17 laps fresher are the tires on Jonathan Platt. Currently, Nickerson's had this thing to the floor since Foster's radioing up saying, hey, he's not, I can't hold him. So Platt off to the races now. Right front damage I'm sure he doesn't need. But the 43 is suffering here. Foster still trying to get rid of that nagging Ethan Sikorsky that's underneath him there. Right now, Foster trying to get away from him, but cannot clear. And he does, finally. Right now, sigh of relief there from Kevin Foster, but now he's got to make up some ground here to Jonathan Platt. Currently between Nickerson and Jonathan Platt, the 43 car has been running just about a tenth of a second slower every lap here, except obviously the last one. They're doing a heck of a job. There it is again. Boy, a tenth of a second faster. And right now, Nick Nickerson has got to be pounding his head off the steering wheel at how we are back under caution here. All right, caution flag returns back here to the track. Taking a look back here with Matt Crockett. I'm not saying this is him, just trying to take a peek because I am not showing a fault for a caution out there. We are steadily trying to locate what happened. Wonder if Connor Gibson, I'm showing him off track there a little bit. Might be able to keep an eye on him. Him and David Lakey going at it. Whoop, Lakey into the back of the 31. Yep, there he goes. Around he goes. All right, pit stops for good chunk of our drivers here. Nickerson not coming down in the pit. Whoa. Jonathan Platt returning back to pit road. Fixing that damage on the right front. I think he knows it's hard to compete with a damaged race car. So we'll see where this sets him up. This will give him a 25-lap shootout. With Nickerson on tires since lap number 62. Currently, it does look like Jackson Knock took 2 tires and got back out there. Connor Gibson with a 4.37 second pit stop time. Might have been a faster pair. Connor Gibson. Boy, this is nasty. Nasty race here. .51 seconds down pit road for David Lakey. I think, unfortunately, I think it should straighten him up. Showing him currently a lap down. They're allowing him to catch up here. So he gets back to the longest line. So if we were trying to measure some of our fastest drivers, Ethan Sikorsky out in front of his own teammate, sitting 6th, Platts in 8th. These two are going to be gunning for it. Nickerson gets away. Certainly like to throw out a lifeline here and see if Foster can help him. Certainly, I believe Connor Gibson in the mix. This kid, a little higher view here, is currently Nicole Krazel. Yep, gets sent around. Caution will come back out. As Connor Gibson, unfortunately, punts the number 6. I don't know about you guys out there in the chat. This is starting to kind of get a certain feel to it, like it's the same names I keep calling out there. All right, let's see if we can take a look here from the top here of Connor Gibson's machine. We'll see if anybody decides to come down into pit. Yeah, right there, Nicole had to check up a little bit. Remember, Nicole hadn't taken tires since lap number 78. May change her tune now. Yeah, knock fan out there even saying 31 again. Yeah, he's going to have the microscope on him here in a little bit if he's not careful. Now remember, we do have drive-through penalties here. They can get up to 20 incident points. And then every 5 after that, they have to serve a drive-through. They hit 40 incident points. They are disqualified. This all stems from the original race of the season. Guys are pushing each other around out there. Connor Gibson might be a little bit at fault on this one. Matt Crockett does come down and back out of pit. Boy, that thing is mangled. But still, Matt Crockett continues to drive this thing. Yep. Robin Allen saying, give him the meatball. Yep, meatball flag comes out when your vehicle is too far damaged to maintain a solid racing pace. All right, so green flag about to wave again. I'm taking a look here at Jonathan Platt's position. As David Lakey gets the drive around here. Boy, the separation now. So almost 40 laps fresher on the tires with Jonathan Platt, Kevin Foster, Ethan Sikorsky, Jackson Knock will have over top of Nick Nickerson. So it looks like they may have played his tune here of Nickerson trying to do a little bit of different call out there. Unfortunately, Nickerson and Logan Murray are hanging out in the same chat up top. I start telling that GFR racing team I'm going to start elbow dropping them. They won't stay in their team chat. Letting away all my secrets. All right, here we go. Nickerson should be getting ready to go here. Looks like another round. Around the track we go. Not quite sure. I think race control is going to try to straighten this one out. Appreciate you guys out there in the chat definitely keeping it lively. I know it was about midway through the first, you guys kind of died off there a little bit. That's A-OK. Right now, Nickerson is in charge, in front. And Nick Nickerson is actually leading out there in the points over top of Jonathan Platt. Currently only ahead by 12 points. If he wins this race here tonight, that will tie the two of them for 5 apiece on the racing. Currently, their stats are almost identical. Jonathan Platt has run about 250 laps less than Nickerson has, but Jonathan Platt is out of provisionals. All right, Nickerson, away we go. Back out front, we got new tires, we got old tires, we got really, really old tires. Right now, Jonathan Platt is going to be looking to make his way toward the front. See if he's going to create more enemies out here by making some pushing. He's already given Jackson Knock a little bit of action out there. Wrong action, Jackson, if I got to say so myself. Taking a look, boy, right now Jonathan Platt is trying to see if he can make a hole here. To squeeze through. Platt realizing he's trapped. Fresh tires here for the 43. We're on board. Looks like Platt and Ethan Sikorsky bumping him running here. Here comes Bill Harkins to the bottom. Don't catch Foster. Boy, with Bill Harkins riding so low right now, that has given that spotter a heck of a time. Trying to tell him when he can come up, and he is able to now. He gives Bill Harkins a 5-position gain here. Logan Murray and Jonathan Platt able to hold on. Looks like Murray might have blinked out there for just a moment. Ethan Sikorsky once again knocking down some crazy lap times. Nickerson is able to regain the fastest lap here of the night with an 18:30. And he is out in front by 1 second over top of Jackson Knock. Although Knock might not have this thing dialed in the way Nickerson does, he is putting up a heck of a fight here tonight. Logan Murray, who was super nervous about the beginning here of this race, currently holding in third from his 6th place start. Checking back in on Ethan Sikorsky. Boy, these two. There's the teammates there. Now, Sikorsky's going to go for it. If he's got the speed, Platt might just let him by. Boy, these two duke it out here. The farther Logan Murray's going to start getting away from him. Boy, look at Platt squeeze his teammate down to the bottom. Interesting dive in here. Sikorsky feeling pretty confident there. Ooh, yep, there's the miscommunication. Sikorsky's around. Caution is out. No contact. Victor Weaver does make contact with the wall, though. Trying to avoid that one. Victor Weaver might be suffering some damage there to the right front. So we saw that one real time there with Jonathan Platt. And Ethan Sikorsky. Sikorsky's been down pit road 3 times here tonight. I would question if he's got any tires left. Here's our pit strategies out there for our guys. Normally about lap number 62 is when you saw everybody's first pit stop there in the top 5. And pit stop number 2 will be in blue. Pit stop number 3 will be back in yellow. And pit stop number 4, if they have come down a 4th time, Connor Gibson. We'll be back in blue again. So it gives you an idea of what lap they did come down and shift up. Knock is out there asking, did he just take out his own teammate? I would say yes. It did look like Ethan Sikorsky got out of shape. It looked like he got a little bit loose heading into the turn. And that's what caused 90% of the problem here. Watch how Ethan Sikorsky sets up here. Notice how he bumps to the outside and then noink. Now, yeah, does it look like the 43 turns a little bit left? Maybe early? It's possible. It's possible. I'll let you guys make that choice. And that determination. Let's take another look at it here from a couple different angles. This is where we saw it. Ethan Sikorsky goes up and gives a little nudge. This bump off right there gets Ethan Sikorsky too low. So that was my only concern here is when he nudges Platt, and you see how much lower Sikorsky is. So Sikorsky right now needs that lane, but Platt is not snug in the wall like he normally does. So this is a good block move that you're actually seeing Platt do. It gets Sikorsky out of shape. He has to hit the brake way early because he's in too deep too early, and that unfortunately causes him to ride up into the 43 and send him on around. Yep, just those little pieces of racing out there you wouldn't think would give a guy the upper hand, but it doesn't take much. Crazy part here is Nickerson, notice his lane choice is bottom this time. The choice for that being is to block Platt, which is an excellent idea. Knock, unfortunately, is going to have to be the brick wall here for about 2 or 3 laps and see if Nickerson can get away. They're all chasing after the bounty, though. I think they're just worried about how Knock has been treated out there, how Platt has been treating every driver. Jonathan Platt been in some trouble here, and speaking of which, there it is. Outside line for Platt, and Foster. Looks like he rocket boosts through, dives in the middle of a 3 wide, moves up to the inside. Bill Harton to the inside of Foster. Foster almost gets hooked. Foster going to try to drive that 43 as deep into that turn as absolutely possible. See if he can feed him a little concrete here before the end of this race. Nickerson's still out front, half a second gain now. Over top of Jackson Knock, that's a comfortable lead. Notice Jackson Knock has taken at least 2 tires back on lap 100. 7 laps left to go. Platt running out of time. Logan Murray pretty excited about his race here so far. Gained 3 on the night. Platt has done just the same. They're going to be nose to tail here in just a moment. Connor Gibson now on the move. Connor Gibson said he may be late to the party, but you can't say he didn't show up. And now 31 machine to the outside. Gets a little bit there from David Lakey. Lakey can't go any lower as Ethan Sikorsky's hanging out there. Sikorsky will about to watch the 84 come across the nose. Right now, somebody's going to have to get out of there, as this isn't going to end well if they keep this up. Sikorsky into Lakey. Lakey into Connor Gibson. Gibson trying to keep him off the wall. Boy. Yeah, Connor Gibson looked like he almost honed in on the windshield there. Wanted to follow Sikorsky around and forgot about Lakey as he trades just a little more paint with him. Currently, this is the battle back here for 8th and 9th. Sikorsky gets back up to 7th. All right, not bad race here. White flag is out. Nickerson out in front by a second over top of Jackson Knock. And he's only 2 turns away from taking that here as a 5-race run. If Jonathan Platt can do it, so can I. Across the line he goes. Nickerson continues the bounty. Jackson Knox setting second. Jonathan Platt, if I'm not mistaken, was able to beat Logan Murray out at the line. He was able to do it. Here comes a shot down the backstretch here. Jonathan Platt to the inside. Wow, does he dive it in there. Wow. All right, tough night here for Logan Murray. Hopefully we'll have an opportunity to see if we can poke and grab him there right at the line. Let's talk a little bit about it here for just a moment, and before we let Logan Murray get back to the race trailer. Logan, the number 4 car, placing 4th here tonight. Talk to me about this last battle out there with Jonathan Platt.
Oh man, that was a lot of fun. I was trying to defend. Knock was getting in the wall, so I was trying to attack Knock and defend Platt, and Platt just had a better run through 3 and 4, or I messed up through 3 and 4. Don't really know what happened there, but that was absolute heck of a battle. I think that's the most fun I've had in a while.
Boy, yeah, tough race here, though. Go back and take a look at that replay. John sent it in there, man, and definitely was hammering you off the side of your car, and very, very tough. It looked like you wanted to return back, but we're going to need a couple more laps for that battle out there. Man, we head to next week at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. What's the chance of getting you back in the race car?
I am probably going to be back in car next week. I should be in back in car next week. I missed last week due to some personal things, but I'm planning on running the rest of the season, so I should be here week in, week out. Looks like he just used me as his brakes through turn 3 and 4, but that's short track racing for you. So
oh, yeah.
I can't be upset with the 4th place. That's after the tough luck I've had. That's surreal. So
yeah. Well, with Kern Raceway, we'll definitely keep an eye and see if you can do it. Go and give me your shout-outs here, man. This will definitely help your 9th place position where you are in the points.
Oh, I've got to give a shout-out to Body and Balance. They're sponsoring me through my actual ARCA career as a pit crew guy, as well as Matchmakers of the Ozarks and United Country West Plains. And, of course, my parents for pushing me through college and chasing this dream I've got. This is what I do for fun, and man, that was so much fun.
All right, Logan, we'll let you catch your breath, buddy. Good luck out there, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Oh, yeah. All right. Great job there. Great job there by Logan Murray, trying to see if he can fend off Jonathan Platt, but we get a hold of Jonathan Platt now. What a race here, man. Definitely a ton of things happening out there. Talk to me about kind of what exactly was boiling down out there, John.
At what part?
Well, a lot of the action was happening around that 43 machine. You know, guys, I would say bump and run. We got some hammering out there, but what in the world? I mean, Jackson Knock got a little shifty out there. I think even your own teammate, Ethan Sikorsky, there was a lot of stuff happening out there on the track.
Yeah, I mean, short track racing, I guess.
All right. Well, hopefully no bad blood between you and any other drivers out there. John, it looked like I would say, you know, from our angle here, correct me if I'm wrong, it almost looked like not sound wrong, almost like a desperation move to make sure you can keep the points chase close there with Nick Nickerson with the last pass here with Logan Murray.
I wouldn't really call it desperation. We raced tight. He fenced me on lap 117. I worked my way back to him and just kind of gave it back. So short-term memory there. Just give it back, same race, and move on from it.
Cool. All right, Jonathan. Well, Kern Raceway's next. We know you have a lot of racing on the outside of here. What does it look like for you and your team?
I'm not too sure. We'll see, I guess.
All right. Well, John, go and give me a shout-outs, buddy, while I got you here.
Robin Allen, and that's it.
All right, buddy. See you, John. Wow. All right. Well, Robin Allen, I think you might have torqued him a little bit there. Let's go ahead and get a hold of our second place driver. Well, not every time do I get to talk to a driver who actually started in second, finished second, got an interview, and didn't end up with the commentator's curse. Jackson Knock, congratulations on a second place finisher, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Real surprise as anyone else. Always fast every race, but just can't ever find my way where I need to be right at the end of the race. But luckily, my getting sent to the back for some crazy stuff that happened near the start of the race. So I had it. I got it out and done with. And so second half of the race felt pretty good. My tire strategy was really good. I'm glad I did the tire strategy that I did, not pitting in that first part, because I think I used up all my tires. But it got me to where I needed to be. Finished second. I don't know how I couldn't catch up to Nick. He was on 53 lap old tires. I was on new tires, and yet he still just pulled away. Absolutely nothing I could do. I think he turned his grip hacks on or something. But just watching him fly away. Yeah, I don't know. I really thought I could have had a chance there, especially on that restart. Starting at second, I was on his door. I just couldn't quite get as good of a restart as I wanted to, and then I lost it from there. But was able to keep second. It was a little scary on the last lap with everyone sending it behind me, but very fun race.
All right. A lot of that's kind of what I'm hearing from everybody. Extremely fun race. A lot of things were pretty exciting out there, but I want to talk a little bit about the restart, the final restart there. How did it feel being used as a blocker to try to see if you guys could pin Platt behind all of you?
I didn't even notice that.
You were on the outside. Logan Murray was behind Nickerson, and to his outside was Platt. And that allowed you guys to, as soon as Logan Murray follows Nickerson, the two of you are side by side, and Platt's got nowhere to go.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was a genius move out there by Nickerson, and he had taken outside line all night, except the last restart he took inside, and I said something's up here. So what a race, man. So Jackson, we haven't seen you behind the wheel a whole lot. Got a few missed races. What's the chance of us seeing you at Kern Raceway next week?
I'm a big fan of Kern. I'm not good there, but I like it. I think that's just because I'm a Kevin Harvick fan, but. I will definitely be there. I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life currently. I bought a street stock, so I'm going to be racing a street stock next season. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But I've been having to get that thing ready, as well as just other personal things, I suppose. But I'm gonna try to be in the seat as much as I can. I'm having fun. As much as I get angry every single race. It's still a blast, and I still try to show up when I can.
All right, finally one paid off for you. All right, Jackson, go ahead and give me shout-outs.
First of all, I'd like to shout out Connor's mom for being so supportive in my DMs. I don't know what that's about. Not interested, but I'd also like to shout out, obviously, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, as well as the sponsor on the hood. It's OxyClean, clean parts that use air, or parts for air and oxygen. Been doing it 50 years before the OxyClean you know of ever existed. As well as anyone who supports me in my sim racing and real life racing endeavors, because I'm going to need a lot of support in my real life racing endeavors over this summer. So anyone who supports me in any way, thank you.
All right, Jackson. Good luck to you out there, buddy, and be excited to hear about the street stock deal, buddy.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, bud.
Have a good night.
Good luck. All right, that'll do it for Jackson Knock. That moves us on to Nick Nickerson, able to come away with the win. And what a way to win here, Nick. Front to back. All right. Probably the question everybody's asking out there. How did you win this race on 50-lap-old tires?
Beats me, man. I for sure thought I was going to get eaten alive, but guess I just had a good enough line. I mean, I was throwing some pretty hard laps there at the ends to try to maintain the gap, any gap that I built, but I for sure thought these guys were going to run me down, but I guess maybe the track just rode it up good enough to where I can run, these qualifying style laps, and it just hooked up. I didn't know how much longer it would have went, but worked out for me, that's for sure.
I think some ill-timed cautions definitely worked against you, but I do want to commend you and tell you did an excellent job and a great call on lane choice on the final restart. That did not go unnoticed up here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was going the outside because my teammate was on the outside, so I was trying to give him just a little bit of a boost there. But yeah, the Black got a good jump on me on one of those restarts, and we were running side by side for like 2 or 3 laps or whatever. That was wild. 2 cars trying to be above that white line. That was I'm surprised we made it out the other side, honestly. But hold on, it's a fun race.
Yeah, honestly, from here it was brutal. I didn't think somebody was not going to survive at the end of this, because there was a lot of, fortunately you were out front, a lot of beating and banging out there in the backfield. I'm sure you were only racing out the windshield, but I can assure you there was a lot of tire smoking sideways cars in the rear view, which fortunately was not a problem for you, but might arise heading to Kern Raceway next week. What's the opportunity of us seeing the number 2 back out on the track?
Well, I'm going to be out of town next week, so unfortunately I'm going to have to miss that one. And then, of course, we have the off week the following week, so it'll be a couple weeks before I'm back.
What?
Yeah.
What happens to the bounty?
I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's still around because technically I'm not here to collect the bounty. I don't know.
But what? You can't go 5 for 5, the same as Jonathan Platt, and then just walk away? No. Oh my gosh. Well, Curtis Yancey was able to capitalize on that the first time. Maybe we'll see Kevin Foster finally pull a rabbit out of his hat.
Yeah. I think he's got the speed to do it. Just need to be there at the end.
Yeah, the GFR team would like to definitely see the wins continue on. Awesome job here tonight for the Clear Low Still Died 125. Nickerson, go ahead and give me your shout-outs here, buddy.
Yeah, just good old Perfect Shine Auto Spa. Kevin, Bill, all the admins, everybody that participates, and appreciate you putting your broadcast on, man. Definitely look forward to watching this again.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely an exciting one. You guys, even I think Bill even said something, not bad racing for only a single-line racetrack. So you guys definitely made it definitely hoppy out there, and we'll definitely leave it to RC and the admins here. I think they got their work cut out for them after this one. Congratulations, Nick, going 5 for 5, buddy. Quite impressive, and I can't wait to see you do it again.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. See you in a few weeks.
Yep. All right, that's going to do it for Nick Nickerson. Awesome job here. This dude led every single lap and was just able to come out on top, and everything he could do to make sure everything just came and just went his way. So 7 cautions here tonight for about 28 laps. Nickerson ended up able to win it, and the only lead change there was Platt being able to stick that nose right past him there for a couple different looks, but unable to capitalize. So that was going to do it. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for us here at Simtrax Broadcasting. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us with the Bandit Racing League here on this fine Wednesday night. Should already have a stream set up for you guys. For the Happies 125 there at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. We'll be at the asphalt track at nighttime for 125 laps there. All right, Robin Allen, pretty excited out there. I think Robin Allen and Jonathan Platt might invite each other out to dinner here pretty soon, see if they can work a few things out and agree on a few things. But that's going to do it for us, everybody. Be well, be safe, be kind. We'll see all you guys next time.